Men have no problem spending their nights and weekends doing whatever their hobby is. And why is this? Because they're entitled.
What hobby gives you guys the ick?
Guys who go to the gym.
If you have a 3D printer, stop 3D printing junk.
We really need to talk more about the way men abuse women with their hobbies.
I am an adult. Video games are for children.
Wow.
And so me in dating, I would rather you have a hobby that's not video games.
Welcome back for this. Today we got some clowns crying about men enjoying their life, that is by having hobbies which they do not have. So let's watch.
Men have no problem spending their nights and weekends doing whatever their hobby is. And why is this? Because they're entitled, and also because the women allow it. One of my good friends has a husband who, no matter what the season is, he's hunting and he's fishing. On the weekends, it's a 10 or a 12-hour thing, or sometimes it's a couple nights, it's the whole weekend. She has 3 kids, ages 2, 4, and 6. And she said, it's impossible to do all this work by myself, and I'm grateful that he brings home all this meat and all this food, but I'm swamped all week at work, and then I come home and I'm swamped taking care of these kids by myself. And I grew up hunting and fishing, so I get it. But I said, why don't you just go to a farm if you want some really good meat? You can buy a quarter cow, a quarter pig, have it processed. He doesn't have to be gone all the time. What if he was gone 1 or 2 full days throughout the month, and then you got 1 or 2 full days throughout the month to yourself? So now they have this arrangement. And you know what she did a couple weekends ago? She spent Friday night, Saturday night, and then all day Sunday by herself at a hotel. There was a spa connected to this hotel, so she got a facial, she got a massage, she got a mani-pedi. She brought 2 books and a couple bottles of wine. And she told her husband, do not disturb. I said, that's a step in the right direction. But it's still really unfortunate that men just assume that they can do these things, that they don't inherently have the awareness, or they're choosing not to see the ripple effects that their decisions are making in the family. How could you not see that your wife is worn out taking care of kids while you're fucking around?
What do you look at that? Men enjoying his time? Bad. The wife decides to enjoy her time. She made it sound like she deserved that, she earned that. Crazy, right? The comments, of course, are all about the same thing. But there's this one comment, it said, I have a 2-year-old and his dad plays video games. While they chill, I go off and read and draw. Like, it isn't that hard. And of course, that comment gets pretty much no likes, just 1 like, and no comments. Meanwhile, she's replying to every other comment that's agreeing to what her negative opinion is about their husband.
What hobby gives you guys the ick?
Guys who go to the gym.
You too?
Mm-hmm. When boys go to the gym all the time.
Guys that make gym their entire personality.
Going to the gym.
Going to the gym.
Yeah.
Gym? Why?
Because they're so caught up looking at themselves in the mirror, and like that's all they post on freaking Instagram.
They're so self-absorbed.
Because whenever I'm scrolling through Hinge and I'm just trying to look through pictures or prompts and it's just all about the gym where he's flexing in the mirror and flexing his back, it's just really gross and turns me off.
You're not turned on by the back?
Not at all.
What?
That's all they talk about. It is just like, get a life.
It's attractive that they work out and they're dedicated, but I don't like that they like to show it off a lot.
Feels a little bit vain.
A little veiny?
Muscles?
You guys don't like muscles?
No. What?
Really?
You don't need them?
The Dorito thing.
Oh, like a little lat spread?
Yeah. Oh, it just gives you the ick.
I'm crying inside.
Yeah, nobody's buying that. We know that women see what they want and what they actually want are 2 completely different things. If they actually dislike the guys go to the gym and all that stuff, they would be actually going for the oversized guys, right? But we see they don't prefer those kind of guys.
If you have a 3D printer, stop 3D printing junk. Don't just make junk. And I think that all the time. Do you ever walk through Target sometimes? And I only got this anxiety once I moved out. You just walk through Target and you look at all this stuff and you're like, man, there's a factory for every single item on these shelves. And it's all just shit. I don't like that you guys have 3D printers now. And now you've a homegrown junk operation. Just stop.
We really need to talk more about the way men abuse women with their hobbies. And by that, I mean the way that so many men will spend all of the family's extra money on their stupid hobby. Whether it is a gear room full of every kind of climbing rope and climbing shoe and cam and black diamond this, blah. Or, hunting or fishing or golf. Or let's talk about the nerd, like games. I don't know how much games cost, but I'm pretty sure all that stuff is expensive.
Oh, she cares about the finance when you're having a good time. But when you spend your money buying things for her, all of a sudden that's a good investment in her mind. Like you're using the money the right way. Man, these women are so delusional.
What in God's name is going on? Now a man having hobbies is considered abusive to women. It doesn't surprise me. Hiking, fishing, mountain climbing, hunting, video games. It's abuse. Everything is abuse. Women are always a victim. So I guess a man is supposed to go to work, come home, do nothing. Don't move. Don't breathe. Don't you dare put your hands on that phone. Just sit. Sit and stare into nothing. Because I'm pretty sure that breathing is going to be abuse soon. We're spinning into like a literal insanity at this point. I mean, are any women calling this out? Here, we see these videos and we applaud it. Another nail in my victimhood coffin. It's pure insanity.
Least attractive hobbies for men, according to women. Which women? I wonder what group of women they identified. Anyway, number one, we have playing video games with a 90. I want to preface this with, I swear to God, I know it's not all women. You just have to believe me. I know that it's not. Can we talk about those specifically real quick? Because it's the same women that complain that men are trash. They just cheat. They just go out with the boys all the time. Like, you know where your man is. You know where he is. He's at home playing the video game. Do you know how much money people are making from playing video games? Like, what demographic of women did they interview? They could not have interviewed all of them. They do know that women play video games too. Like, that's wild. That's wild. And then up next is collector. I want to go back to video games. Come on, bro. Like, it doesn't make any sense. How is having a hobby unattractive? What is this bizarro world that we live in? I'm cool with you on online trolling. I'm cool with you with gambling. Maybe, I mean, if he got enough money to gamble like that. Building model trains. Why is childlike joy and wonderment unattractive in men? What is this? Who are these women? Who are these who hurt them? Magic tricks? You'll be entertained for days. What is this? Bird watching is okay. This makes no sense. This is the weirdest shit I've seen all year. I just wanna
There you go. Bonus reason number 4. They take a lot of money. There you go. That's the actual reason. The first 3 didn't matter. This is the actual reason. Because you're losing the money they want to spend.
Men have video games and sports. What do women have?
You know, it might sound crazy, and I don't know why this is such a hard thing to grasp, but girls can have hobbies too. Like, you can do video games, you could read, you could do photography, you could skate, you could do pickleball, you could do anything you want.
Which hobby makes a guy undateable?
Pokemon. Like trading cards.
She didn't say airplanes. I'm an aircraft mechanic, and this is an aircraft's engine, which is a CFM 56-7B high bypass turbofan, which actually powers the aircraft, but also provides the aircraft with pneumatic pressure that it needs for things like the air conditioning and the cabin pressurization. And it's able to get that from the engine's bleed air system that takes air from the engine's HPC or high pressure compressor from the 5th stage and the 9th stage. The 9th stage is different than the 9 Nazgul in the Lord of the Rings that were once great kings of men that were gifted rings of power by Sauron in the 2nd age and would use those rings to attain great strength, power, and riches, and extend their lifespan until eventually their physical bodies faded into the race that existed in the unseen world that were bound to the will of Sauron, that were led by his most deadly servant, the Witch King of Angmar, who would eventually attack Strider and the hobbits at Weathertop and wound Frodo with a Morgul blade until Frodo was taken to Rivendell on Glorfindel's horse Asfaloth, where he crossed the ford of Brunnen and was healed by Elrond. Because the bleed air system on this isn't one of the Nazgul, but I do think that aircraft engines are pretty cool. So, yep.
I am an adult. Video games are for children.
Wow.
And so me in dating, I would rather you have a hobby that's not video games. Something that enlightens you.
You don't think video games do that at all?
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. My favorite video game growing up, it was Frogger. So I'm just helping a frog cross
That
the street.
track.
Hold on,
Oh my God. God. All arguments invalid. Frogger? Of all the amazing games out.
I got another
Frogger.
one. I got another one. Grand Theft Auto.
GTA's one of your all-time favorites?
Grand Theft Auto. Before you decided to keep this going as a grown man.
Right. Which I have made very, very lucrative for myself.
And by the way, were you always a gamer?
I grew up playing games like Final Fantasy VII, you don't know it. Kingdom Hearts 2, you don't know it.
No.
Mega Man X, which I went and got him iced out here, you don't know it.
Mortal Kombat.
Uh-huh. Still
I like that.
Name one Mortal Kombat character. Thank you.
Male hobbies typically take them outside of the home during the daytime during caretaking hours. Female hobbies often revolve around the schedules of their partner and their children and account for the domestic labor that they are handling and any kind of mental load that they carry. The big difference that I've noticed is that men are able to find time to do hobbies that take them outside of the house during the day, like golf, hunting, rock climbing, training for a marathon. All of those things are incredibly long activities and they take you outside of the house during caretaking hours because they typically cannot be done at night. Whereas women who take on more traditional hobbies like gardening, painting, reading in a book club, even, socializing with friends, because that is a common hobby of women, is just to be with other women. Those things can be done in short periods of time, even yoga, right? I love yoga, but I go to yoga for an hour and I typically do it before my kids are awake or when they're in bed, not at 2 p.m. on a Saturday for 4 hours. So, we are able to and required to typically work our hobbies around the schedules of our families, whereas men's hobbies take them away from that. And the reason they're able to do that is because when men get married, they gain free time and women lose free time in heteronormative relationships because they take on the unpaid labor and mental load at home. And with kids, this is bigger gap. So men are able to leave the home for those extended periods of time during caretaking hours because they have a support at home. Most females do not feel like they have the same support when they would like to take on a hobby. If they were to look at their husband and say, hey, I also would like to take up golfing, but I don't want to golf with you. I want to golf in a women's league and we're going to golf every Sunday for 5 hours from noon to 5. Are you good to care for the kids? They might be met with a response that is unfair, that takes them outside of the home, that is putting too much responsibility on the other partner, and that is not kind of equal division of labor, right? So that's, I think, the gripe when it comes to hobbies, that men's hobbies typically require a lot more time. They need to be done during daylight and or caretaking hours. And women have traditionally fallen into hobbies that allow them to either still be at home or work them around the schedules of their family. Even gardening, right? Often people joke oh, women love flowers and gardening. They don't all love that. One of the reasons they might get into it though is because they can do it from their home with their children. So it's something they can do together. And yes, of course, a dad can take his son golfing, but is he really going to do that when he's playing 18 holes with his buddies? Probably not, right? And so this is where kind of the discrepancies are when it comes to hobbies in a heteronormative relationship and why it does matter and plays into the domestic labor and mental load and caretaking of children.
Now that was a pretty long clip, and if you're still watching, I appreciate that. Now she talked a lot but made no sense at all. All she meant to say that if you want to have hobbies, guys, you have to be gay. That's the only way. A normal straight dude cannot have hobbies because then you're taking time out of the family you're not helping the family, you're being deadbeat, you have no usefulness if you're enjoying hobbies. If you're married to a woman, you have to be gay. That's the only way you're gonna enjoy your life and have some hobbies.
Women hate comfortable, man. Women fucking hate. If they see you comfortable. No, listen. If a woman sees you fucking comfortable, oh, it does something to them on the inside. Let me tell you, if a woman comes from work and she got some groceries, and the first thing she sees when she come in the house is you laying on the sofa, fucking comfortable. My God, when she comes in, her whole face, man. She will put the bags down slow. She will talk to women who aren't there. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Look.
Well, anyways, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment your opinions in the comment section below. Here are some more videos if you're interested you can watch. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.